All right, Shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites. We come in week and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America, soon to be destroyed by nuclear fire. We wake up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Speckled Bird. Get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, and get back into the ordinances of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. First and foremost, and as always, all praises due to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, B'Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and its sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right. Shalom and salutations to all the Akwaf out listening and learning and being a pillar of rest. All right. So here we are once again at the very end as this place crumbles. All right. And what we see openly is this war. All right. And they're trying to hide it and obscure it by distracting you with everything they got. All right. This is Revelation 11 and 14. It's a great place to start. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So, if you don't understand what the hell is going on at this point, we're in World War III. What does that mean? Well, this is the last war, because this devil, pursuant to Job 9 and 24, is in possession of the earth. Let's get that. It's the book of Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? These Idumeans, this devil, the great red dragon. He's clearly in possession of the earth. The Most High gave it into his hand. What is he doing? He's destroying it. All right? You're raping and pillaging everything. Right? And now we're at the end of that thing. Your time is up, like Mike Epps said. Well, what happened to this devil? Well, his time is up. And see, Mike Epps, you think you slick, okay? The Most High is going to use you to push this out, right? Because that's what that was. It's a little spiritual and sad attempt to redeem yourself, but it doesn't work that way. It don't work that way, all right? You can't use your little bully pulpit while telling jokes for this devil, right? You're the court jester. This devil, you're working on his behalf, and you're trying to expose him through the platform that he gave you now, right? That winds up in your death. You made a contract with this devil to work for him, and he's going to promote you, all right? And when you took that oath, like they all do in these fraternities, they lay you in that coffin, and then they pronounce you dead, and if you go against their program, they have every right to kill you. And you agreed to that, right? 27 Club my ass. In order to be famous, in order to get that promotion or get that deal, you had to do a ritual. And that ritual involved your death, a symbolic death that if you cross the higher ups, then they have every right. You agreed to that. All right? And this is why people get laid down. And when I say people, I mean people that took that oath. The oath was, you're working for them, they'll take care of you, you're frat brothers, you're fraternal. But if you break that oath, just like blood in, blood out, okay? If you want to get out and you don't want to work for this devil no more, it requires your death. And you signed off on that with your signature, most likely in blood. Okay? And I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way it works. Okay? That's what it means to sell your soul. You sold out who you are, your name, your likeness, all of that, and you signed off on it. And part of that agreement was to go through the mock ritual of your death, a symbolic death, some Hiram Abiff type shit, right? Where you agree to your demise if you try to turn around and go contrary to what you agreed to. And that's how it works, right? So what idiot, knowing that we got this much time left, what idiot would make that deal? And you got them lined up, all right? A 360 deal is, who would do that? And there's a line down the street of people waiting to make that 360 deal, so for 3 seconds of fame and fortune, right? Not understanding who the devil is. Not Job 9:24 again. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, which are the Edomites. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right? So, that's a rhetorical question. Where and who is this devil? Right? If he ain't the so-called white man. Salaki. And really, it's just that simple. All right? It's that simple. But this devil is more cunning than any beast of the field, meaning he got you all tricked and fooled and deceived. And we're in the time of great deception. Salakia. This is Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Okay? So, that's an example of this devil using his sly slickness, his slithering serpentry, right? To go against the Most High, trick you into rolling with him. Really, that's an initiation. Okay? That's the same record deal, if you will, that they put up for you to sign. And Eve said, I'll sign that. Right? And is now in league with this devil to this day. All right? That's a generational thing. All the way up until now, when all of that is exposed and destroyed, and everything is set straight back in order. And here we are, watching the demise, or what's left of this kingdom. This devil is squirming like the snake that he is, as he falls from his heaven, and we're standing in it, all right? And there will not be one stone left upon another. What does that mean? That means clean dissolved. We're in the time of the clean dissolution of Babylon the Great. And nobody's going to stop that thing. Okay? This is the Most High program. If one of us gets removed from this spot, 5 of us show up. 5 more. All right? So, this is why you have to move, right? What does it mean to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove? You got niggas out taking guns to camp. Niggas are taking guns to camp and displaying them on their hip. All right? That's not being wiser than the serpent. The serpent could do that. This is his kingdom. He could take what he wants to camp and show his, he can display his firearms on his hip. He could get a, what do you call it? A concealed carry. He could get an open carry license. You can't, Jake. You tried that in the 60s, right, with the Panthers. How did that go? They started passing laws real quick, so specifically you can't do it. You're the one that can't do it. Where am I at? This is Matthew 24:4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. All right, and this is the time that we're in. All right, because that particular precept goes into time. The disciples asked Yahushua, what time, what are the signs, and what is the time? And he said, you'll know it when great deception comes upon the earth. Right? We're in the time of massive deception. Okay? You got so-called Israelite camps that are in lockstep with this devil. Lockstep. All right? Doing his bidding in our world, for that matter. Okay? From the top, that took a bag, clearly pushing false doctrine and confusing the people. But guess what? We're in the wake up. We're in the time where everybody's waking up. They're waking up. They can't be fooled anymore. All right? This, what did they do yesterday? Right? Let me read that again. This is Matthew 24:4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. So when they roll out two tiny coffins and they say, well, we have aliens. We have aliens, bodies, right? We have alien bodies. We have alien bodies, right? Well, then they roll out what? Two petrified, so they say. Here it is. They come out in these little coffins to display them. At what point do you not see through them? That's the great deception. Okay, right there. This is great deception. And here's the point, okay? Do you know how many people are falling for that? You got people that want to see something. Shalom transportation. All right? You got people that are longing. Okay? Here it is. You done suppressed this information. You done played with it. Right? And finally, after years of weather balloons and swamp gas, ball lightning, okay? Those are all deceptions. All right? They're all deceptions. All right? So, finally they're going to tell the truth? No. No. This devil can't tell the truth. It's not within him. If he tells the truth, it's a bait and switch. Okay? Like he said, oh, well, we're going to show you these alien bodies. Boom! There they are. But wait, you didn't say, nigga, that they're 1,000 years old. They're petrified. You have to suspend all belief and get into conspiracy at that point. Well, is this an alien body, or come on, who believes that? You can roll anything out. First of all, the devil don't roll nothing out without deceiving you. So that's a deception on its face. It's a deception simply by virtue of the fact that you're rolling it out. And that was as bad. At this point, how stupid do they think the American people are? Okay? And this wasn't even in Babylon the Great. This is south of the border, right? In Spain-controlled Mexico. Spain-controlled. So when you see Jamie Maussan and all of these so-called officials, right? And the Mexican consulate or powers that be over there, the Mexican president, these are Spaniards. They're not Mexicans. They're Spaniards. These are Edomites, right? If you speak Spanish, where's the home of the Spanish? Spain, nigga. All right? Spain. Those are transplants. Okay? The devil's going to tell you the truth. Jake will look at because it says Mexico. Jake will think, well, that's Issachar. No, that's not Issachar. All right? That ain't Issachar. That's the devil, Esau. Speaking Spanish, see, Jake is all jacked up. You got your level of Stockholm is extreme. You got extreme Stockholm syndrome, and you proud of speaking the oppressor's language. Like right now, I'm speaking English, who is the oppressor, the devil, right? So is Portuguese. So is Spanish, right? So is French. And we speak all those languages. Shouldn't that tell you something? It tells you that you're at war. And nigga, you're a prisoner of war. If you speak the oppressor's language, you're a prisoner of war. That ain't your language. Spanish is not your language. English is not your language. Portuguese is not your language. French is not your language. That's the language of the oppressor who captured you and forced you to speak his language. So if you're proud, oh, I'm bilingual, well, you speak all the languages of the oppressor. That's something to be proud of? No, it's not. No, it's not. And what you're doing is you're worshiping idols. That's idol worship. You proudly speak the language of the oppressor, right? Like my mother, right, wanted us to be better than the neighbors, right? So she tells you in her extreme Stockholm syndrome, we don't talk like that. We speak properly. We speak the proper English, right? To make you feel like you're better than the next Israelite out here because you speak the oppressor's language better than your neighbor who is an Israelite in bondage as well. It's a crabs in a bucket situation. Letting you know that we're under the curses and there's nothing that we can do. But guess what? We're at the end of that thing. Which is why we say, Abba Wana Shabbat Shemayim Kodash Hayashamka Yahweh Malakwafka. All right? Because we're coming out. That's our language. All right? That's the language of the heavens. You might as well start at the top. See, we're coming out of it. When we say, Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kodash, all right, that's the language that you're proud of. That's your language. That's the language of the angels, the language of the heavens. That's the language that they're speaking in the spirit world right now. That when a baby comes out of the womb, he's already speaking what they were speaking in the spirit world. Abagada Baha Hawasa. That's what a baby is doing. Right? Until you destroy that child by teaching him a bastard language, whether it be Portuguese, Spanish, English, French, or whatever. Yiddish, what we call shiddish, okay? It's all deception. You, from the time you exit the womb, the first thing you get before you can even cry out, they're sticking a needle in your foot. Number one, to destroy you. Number two, they're speaking a foreign language as soon as you come out. It's all destruction from the time you hit the air. The air is poison, the water's poison. When they sew your mother back up, they leave a scalpel in your mom. You got to come back and have them take it out in a month. Well, what's wrong with her? Well, she's infected. She's infected with something. Let's open her back up and see we left the scalpel in there. That's his devil. That's Western medicine, which is all deception. All right? In the kingdom, you women are going to be dropping babies like it's nothing. There'll be no more labor pains. You're going to squat over, the baby's going to come out swinging a chain and singing, speaking in Hebrew. All right? And it's going to be paradise and nobody can stop that. It's a crackhead running back and forth over here I got to keep my eye on. But such is the way of the end. Hey, we're at the end, right? You got to be circumspect. You got to know where your enemy is at all times. So when he tries to run up on his suplex, right? That's all. That's all. Hey, it's combat. You're at war. Who are you at war with? Your enemy. Well, who are your enemies? Well, we could go to Psalms 83, but we got to start with the 2/3. You got to start with your own people who don't know that they're your people, right? Who want to silence you. They want to stay right here in Babylon, right? And fight for this goddamn devil up there. To keep his kingdom rolling. When his kingdom is falling like a rock, when the scripture says, and I saw Lucifer fall from heaven like lightning, who do you think that's talking about? All right? Whoever's in rulership right now, whoever's language we're speaking, is in control for about 5 more seconds as it falls to the earth. That's what that's talking about. And they don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear this truth. We understand that. But guess what? It's going to come out anyway. And you know what? There's a spirit out right now on Israel. And when I say Israel, I mean the men of the Lord. When I say the men of the Lord, I mean the men of GMS. There's a spirit on the men of GMS right now that says, Call halal Yahweh Shemi Hashah. That spirit says, Pick up the pace. Go hard. We're almost done. All right? Steady, even keeled. But, hey, more intensity. All right? You got to make your head strong against theirs. How? Wise as a serpent. Well, who's the serpent? How are you wiser than the serpent? Let's go back to Genesis. Genesis 3. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. There's the serpent. Now we'll go to Revelation 13, Salakia 12. And who do we find? This is Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent. What old serpent? The old serpent in the garden, right? The dragon, all right? Wise as a what? Wise as a serpent. Who is the serpent? That old serpent in the garden? That's Esau. Nakash, right? Who is the devil and Satan. You have to be wiser than this devil. Okay? And how do you do that? How do you come more subtle than any beast of the field? How do you do that? All right? First thing you got to do, study to show thyself approved. When you study this, you're like, oh, okay. This is a whole different kind of fight. This fight is about knowledge. Knowledge of self, knowledge of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah, knowledge of how, right, his name, how he gets down, who he chose, how you operate in that fashion. Okay? How do you operate in the fashion of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah? Our weapons of war are not carnal. That's his blessing. That's this devil's blessing. So how do you win this war? If his blessing is the sword, how do you take this devil down? Okay? By not using the sword. Here's your sword. This is your sword. It's a spiritual sword. So you can't use his blessing to take him down. Stupid. Stupid. You can't do it. You can't use this devil's blessing to take him down. Okay? You have to be wiser. Wise as a serpent. That means you got to show the wisdom. See, wisdom and understanding, right, trumps being carnal. And that's all the devil got. The devil has no wisdom. Okay? All he got is his sword. This is a brute beast. It's a knuckle dragon, brute beast. How do you defeat him? Harmless as a dove. You got to be harmless. Don't engage physically with this devil. Don't let him trick you into a physical fight. Is what it is. How you doing? Don't let him trick you. Don't let him pull you in. All right? Edith the Edomite over here. Just keep pushing this word until we get pulled off the street. And here it is, it's Thursday, and who do I see out here? I see the JH, the Jehovah Witness. The crackhead that went across the street. I think they sent him out here to deal with me, but that's cool. Hey, how do we win? All right? Hey, just push the word in truth and in sincerity. That's all you got to do. All right? Don't need no weapon. Got one. Right? And what's the plan? Harmless as a dove. All right? What does that mean? Now, are we going to destroy you? Yeah. All right? Remember this? Sticks and stones. Right? Sticks and stones is Esau's blessing. Okay? What do you do with that stick? You make an arrow out of that stick. That is a sword. Okay? That's a weapon of war. What do you do with that stone? You build a catamaran. What is it? A catapult. Right? That's a physical, that's a carnal weapon. All right? But words, right? Why do you think Esau created that bullshit? Sticks and stones, that's your blessing, may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, right? That's what Esau said. Well, guess what? That's deception. Because guess what, devil? It's these words. It's the word, which is Yahushua, and it's these words that are killing you. All right? And by their testimony, Salakia, bear with me. And bear with me. This is Revelation 12 and 11. Let's get that. See, we already know. See, the scriptures tell you the story that already happened. Okay? 12 and 11. Revelation 12 and 11. And they overcame him. Who is him? That's this devil. They overcame him. This is past tense. So it already happened. All you got to do is look and see, oh, we won. How? How did we win? Okay? Well, it's telling you. And they, that's us, overcame him. Who's that? That's this devil, right? The so-called white man, right? The devil, the red devil with the horns on his head. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man is the devil. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, that's Yahushua, and by the word of their testimony. So how is it that we won this war with this word? I thought that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But this is how we overcame this devil. That's speaking in the past tense. This already happened. So in order to find out what you must do in order to be those people that overcame him, just read it. It's right here. Take heed. Meaning this, you don't need no weapon at camp. You don't need no blinky. You don't need a pig sticker. Any of those things. You don't need two swords. Okay, I said take two swords. No, it don't. It says that. But what does it mean spiritually? What does that mean spiritually? It doesn't say we overcame him with the sword. It says we overcame him by the word of our testimony. And they love not their lives until death. They were out here whether they got taken down or not. That's a symbolic victory of that moment. That's a carnal victory. What about a spiritual victory? Okay? Because the spirit comes back. And at this point, the point that we're at right now, if you go down on this battlefield, who's the first one coming back on the chariot? So how is that a loss? That's what it means. They love not their lives until death. All right? So you got to make your body a living sacrifice. And if you go down on the battlefield, it's all good. And that's what it is. There's only a few days left on the front lines. Then what? Then you retreat, which is the famine of the word. You go back, because what's coming? Here comes the air support, right? I'm watching these doves, and this goes way back, watching these doves. They fly around this big building right here. And one of them is white, right? One is pure white, and I imagine that would be a Hawashah, you know? And when they do a little loop and let me know that they're there. I'm like, the angels got me, they're encamped. They encampeth around them that fear the Lord. Right? Not the first time that we had to, and I'm talking about a decade, more than a decade ago, you thought that you had to get carnal out here. I was a young man then, but it went down a couple of times. But now we should know how to deal with situations like that. Why? Because we're wise as a serpent. Well, and when you understand who the serpent is, then you know. You know how to deal. And see, it takes a while. You don't just, get the word and suddenly you're that guy. All right? Look at the elder apostle Tahar, right? Look at how he moves, right? The elder apostle Tahar moves in wisdom. This is a perfect example. You got these other examples. You got bad examples, right? You got Johanna, you got Nathaniel 7, right? Tazariak. You got these bad examples out here. And it's pretty, if you have any righteousness in you, right? It's pretty easy. It was easy 15 years ago. And when I say that, it was easy for me to see who was selling the truth and who, right, was selling it not. You're like this, wait a minute, that ain't right. That ain't right. That's serpentine, right? Jake, you ain't supposed to be doing what this devil is doing. You're not supposed to be building a nation. The nation is already built, okay? The 144 are already chosen. The 1/3 are already assembled. They're already counted. What do you mean building a nation? You ain't building shit. You ain't building no nation. So when a nigga starts talking about, we building a nation, you're going off. And what are you to do? When somebody says that, be not deceived. I'm like, gotta go the other way. This nigga's building a nation. And he wants to be the leader, right? There's nothing like watching a nigga, right, try to get you to follow him, and he ain't worth following. right? Would you follow somebody who is blatantly going against the law, the precepts, and switching shit up, finding an excuse, right? What is it? A wicked man findeth an excuse. Let's get there. So I can bear with me. Yep. Sirach 32 and 17. A sinful man, which is a wicked man. Sirach 32:17. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. Right? So you're going to follow this dude? Right? I mean, in the world. You learn this in the world. You are going to kill yourself. In the world you learn if you have a father. If you have a father, you learn, look, son, you have to have respect for me, or I'm going to whoop your ass. And that's in the scripture. You understand? It's in the scripture. That's how you train up a man, train up a boy to be a man. Right? You train him up in the right way. And then he's going to be all right. But if you don't get that training, what's the beginning of that? Look, you got to have respect for me. Right? After you have respect for, here's how you have respect for yourself, son. Son, I'm going to teach you respect. I'm going to teach you how to have respect for yourself. You know how you do that? You have respect for me. Trust me, son. I'm going to show you the right way. I'm going to show you the way I was taught by my dad from the scriptures. Right? Because the further you go back, Jake, right? Your dad is going to whoop your ass. He can grab you up by one arm and spank you with his other hand. If not a switch, if not an extension cord, he's going to whoop that ass. Okay? And get you right. But if he ain't there to do that, you got no respect for your elders, no respect for your father, nor your mother, and you're just an abominable piece of shit, really. And you ain't gonna make it very far. It's not gonna go well. All right? But when you get that wisdom, okay, when you get that wisdom, then you're on your way. Okay? Because everybody's listening. If you don't know how to listen to somebody, you got to listen to your dad. Your dad is an instructor. You can't get mad at your dad. Your dad is imparting to you wisdom. And if you don't have a dad, you're already in trouble. But guess what? You got to learn as a grown-up. You might be a grown child, but you still got to learn. Right? You got to learn order in this thing. You got to learn obedience in this thing. Right? Because everybody is under, Yahushua is under his dad, is under his father. You got Yahweh, you got Yahushua, and it goes all the way down, and that's called order. And you ain't Yahweh. Okay? Even Yahushua is in order. Why then would you think that you can't be told what to do or instructed, right? Or understand procedure, if you will. Okay? First of all, you're born into the army, the camp. You're born into the camp of Israel, right? And what do you do at that point, right? Really, you're waiting until you're 12, and then you put on the uniform, and you start getting trained up for real. That's what that means. It means that you got to know how to take orders. You got to know how to you got to know how to move, right? I got something for a brother. You gotta know. Okay? Otherwise, you're gonna be out here moving and it ain't gonna go well. It ain't gonna go well. This is one of my favorite precepts right here. Proverbs 1. And here's why. The reason why this is one of my favorite precepts, right, is because I got to take it. It's for me. Right? It's for me. Am I being greedy in this situation? All right? Number one, it's easy to remember. Oh, Proverbs 1 and 7. And 7 is completion. That's all you got to know. All right? Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And what? And instruction. All right? Fools despise wisdom and what? Instruction. Them instructions are it. Them instructions. Okay? What are the instructions? Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Where's the gun at? Where's the gun at that point? Okay? Hey, if somebody comes up and peels your cap, then so be it. All right? Who wants to hang out at this month? This, you know, if the Most High takes you down right now, first of all, it was the Most High. Number two, he was getting you the hell up out of here before the evil day. And you don't even consider that. Right? If you do have to make it from here to the other side, then so be it. It is what it is. So, what do you do at that point? What do you do? Hey, you follow instructions. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Then what? And no, I'm not closing the camp just yet. But this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. You know, like you got, for God so loved the world. Was it the whole world? Well, this is the whole matter. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter, the end-all, be-all. Right? What is the end-all, be-all of the whole matter? Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Right? And if we go to the book of Leviticus, is that not the commandments? How then can you override one of these commandments? You can. You can override the commandments if what? If you're going off and you're being wicked, right? And you have a desire, right? Oh, I want to run some shit. I want to be the boss. I want to be the boss. I want to be the general. I want to be the bishop. I want to be the 5-star general. Right? That's how you go off. Wanting to be that guy. Right? I want to be the Grand Poobah. Big Brother Almighty. Right? I want to be that guy. This is what gets people in trouble. Instead of saying, you know what, I want to be the greatest mosquito wing soldier. What does it mean to be a mosquito wing, right? I'm the mosquito wing guy, okay? I went into the service. I volunteered like a dumbass. I went in. At first you're a slick sleeve. You got nothing, no rank, right? Or I can't even remember. You come in as an E1, which is a mosquito wing. All right? There's one bar, private. Then you go to PFC, which is a P3, I believe. E3. And that's when you get a rocker under your mosquito wing. Right? Then you go to corporal, which is E4. And then you become a sergeant, E5. Right? A sergeant is 3 stripes. Right? 3 mosquito wings. Right? That's a sergeant. Then E6, you get a rocker under the 3. Alright? It's called rank and order. Alright? But see, a nigga comes in, he want to run shit like you even are built like you've got enough experience. Do you know what it takes to go from E1 to E6? It takes years of learning and practical knowledge. Right? People come into this thing and immediately want to run shit. Okay? Instead of wanting to stay a mosquito wing, play your position. It's okay. Because guess what? We all get the same penny. Guess what? The elder apostle Tahar is going to get the same penny as you. Not to diminish the elder apostle. But the point is, Why are you trying to get 40 years of work out of doing 4? You did 4 years in the truth, and you're putting yourself on the level of the elder apostle who's done 40 plus. Why can't you just be a mosquito? Why don't you make that the focus and play your position? Because we all get the same opinion. Now, a nigga want to be a badass. Oh, I care. I got a gun on my hip. I'm somebody. It's not the way it works. That's not harmless as a dove. Right? That's not harmless as a dove. We might as well get that then. Salaki, bear with me. Matthew 10 and 16, let's get it out of the Bible. It's a nigga will tell you, if you try to read the scriptures off of your phone, a nigga will tell you that's not the Bible. Matthew 10 and 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore. And this is Yahweh Shai telling you, instructing you, giving you instruction on how to move. All right? Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Well, who's the serpent? Right? Who is the serpent? Well, this damn devil. The red guy with the horns on his head. You got to be wiser than him. Okay? And he's wise to do evil. That doesn't mean you therefore do match evil with this dude. He's got you. Okay? Even though you surpass the deeds of this devil, you do. Right? Being a nigga, but that's not the, being a nigga is not the focus of being a man of the Lord. It's the opposite of that. All right? You have to forego evil. And some of you niggas, you just can't, you're in the truth, call yourself in the truth with a t-shirt and fringes on and about as wicked as you can possibly be. Don't you understand? There's a worse fate. There's a much worse fate for doing that. Just go be wicked in the world. Not claiming to be in the truth and you being a nigga out there. Non-stop, if you will. You're being a non-stop demon. As an angel of light. And it don't work. You're wasting your time. As though you can fool Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. You ain't doing it. It ain't happening. Okay? Harmless as a dove. Nigga, that means no gun at camp. That's simple. And no, you cannot fool the very elect. You can't do it. Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Mashiach, Salaki. For there shall arise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So guess what? If you got malice, if you got intent, calling yourself in this truth with a t-shirt and fringes on, trying to move up overnight, like these clowns, I forget what their name is, Yahweh's Camp, okay? It's crazy. After years and years, right? Let's go back 10 years. A nigga wasn't thinking about the truth, right? 5 years ago, came into the truth, and now you're trying to tell those that precede you for longer than you've been alive. All right, let's just say it. Are you 40? I don't know how long the elder apostle has been in. Not sure how long the elder apostle has been in. But let's say this. All right. If it's 43 years, are you 43, nigga? I don't think so. I don't think you're 43, right? It's one thing to, you've been in the truth for 5 years. You want to be on top of the apostles. But here it is, they've been doing this longer than you've been alive. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand the audacity of a doo-doo chump punk to step up and try to say, no, you're doing it wrong, right? You're doing it wrong. You got 5 years in. All right? Do you know what that means to the guy that's got 43? He's having a small chuckle to himself and saying to himself, I've seen this a million times before. And I can guarantee that this 5 years in nigga, right? His daddy wasn't there. He hates his daddy. You know why he hates his daddy? Because his daddy wasn't there to instruct him properly, to give him structure, right? The structure, the order that is needed to be in order, to be in this truth. This truth is about order. The Most High is about order from the top to the bottom. And if you don't know how to be a mosquito wing, humble down, do what the hell you're told, right? You ain't wise at all. Even a have-not. And here's what a have-not is. If you were raised by your mama, right, and got 0 sense, right, 0 order, you can still learn it. You can purge out that old leaven. And guess what? There are many of the elect that are doing that. You understand? There are many of the elect, right? And I don't know who they are, but you can best believe that the elect, there are those of the elect that didn't have a father and didn't have order and don't understand. And you know what they did? They purged that shit and they got themselves in line. You know what? Because they are the elect. So if you want that to be you, right, what do? I think it's Galatians. Put on Galatians, what is it, 3? Let's see if I can find it off the top of my head. Galatians, is it 5? Slock, bear with me. There is no Galatians 5, huh? Got to be Galatians 2. What am I looking for? Damn, I'm just left Galatians. Oh, put on, therefore. Is it Ephesians? It's Ephesians, Salah. Slocky, bear with me. I wanted to find it. Salaki, I gotta look it up. Put on therefore. Salakia. Getting old. That's what the other apostle says. I'm getting old. Put on, therefore, as the see if I can find it, since I couldn't. Colossians 3. Salakia. Let me get it. Colossians 3. See, because there's a way to do this. There's a way. What's up, brother? Three and what? There it is, 3 and 12. All right, so and what does that mean? Let's read it. This is Colossians 3 and 12. Put on therefore as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Hamashiach forgave you, so also do ye. And I did. All right? Why? Because I'm instructed to. Don't be a damn fool. All right? Follow these instructions. Number one. All right? So do that. But what's the bigger picture being said right here? All right? Look, nigga, act like you got some sin. This is saying, act like you are the elect. Act like it. Rehearse the righteous acts. Right? And if you need further instruction, it goes through and tells you exactly what you got to do. Right? And eschew evil. All right? How do you put on the elect of God? How do you show that? How do you rehearse that righteousness? Holy, separate, and beloved, right? bowels of mercy. You got to be merciful. You got to be kind. You got to be humble. Right? You got to be of a humble heart, meek, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. All right? You have to do those things. You have to concentrate and focus and walk like this. And when you catch yourself not doing those things, right, then you rebuke yourself. You go look in the mirror and say, am I doing these things? Before you go and rebuke somebody, or I'm going to make a rebuke video on this guy. No, before you do that, okay, yeah, you're supposed to suffer not sin upon your brother and in no wise rebuke him, right? You're supposed to do that, but before you do that, what is the instruction before you do that? Before you do that, you get yourself right, okay? You can't have a log coming out of your eye, and you can't wait to go rebuke somebody, to make a rebuke video. You have to put on therefore as the elect, right? And that's the person, right? When you see that guy, you want to be like him. That guy is not striving to be number one. He's not striving to be a general. He don't put, I'm an elder. I'm a self-appointed elder out here. Here it is. Guess what? I am an elder through age, right? And you would be able to see and determine this quick if I was full of shit. Is this nigga calling himself an elder because he's older than everybody else? Nope. That's what you don't do. Okay? Calling yourself an elder is you calling yourself a general, right? Calling yourself a bishop, self-appointed. If the elder apostle comes up, this is an up-and-coming elder. This guy right here is an elder. I'm making the determination, right, that this guy is now an elder. Then, guess what? Then you're an elder, right? And at that point, you don't say, no, I'm not an elder. That's insubordination. The elder apostle deems you an elder. You put that name on and you start to wear that and you raise your game to that level, right? Because you got the promotion. Not you promoted yourself, right? So it's not about deeming yourself, right, elder. You got 20 niggas around you calling you elder because you told them to, right? You ain't no elder. You ain't no bishop. You ain't no whatever you're claiming to be. You're not no leader, right? You are you're a self-appointed piece of shit who is trying to exalt himself, right? You're trying to exalt yourself. And what does that mean? What comes with exalting yourself? That abasement, right? There are laws, there are rules to this thing, right? And a nigga hates rules, right? A nigga wants to forego the rules, right? There are levels to this shit, right? That's what a nigga will say. Well, there's levels to this shit, and there is. You don't come in for 5 years and then you're telling the elders and the apostles what to do, and the bishops. No, they earned that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You don't just call yourself. If you have to call yourself in order to gain rank, right? If you have to self-appoint It don't work like that. All right? In due time. Let's get that. And nobody told you to strap a firearm on. First Peter 5 and 6. Let's get it. First Peter 5 and 6. Humble. Whoo! Whoo! Right there. From the top. First Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves. Stop. Stop right there. Here's your instruction. Can you do this? Right? Fools hate wisdom and instruction. Right? Don't be a damn fool. Here's some instruction for you. Right? Are you ready? Take a breath. Open your ears. All right? Here's your instruction. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He, not you, that He may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. You're tripping. You're so busy, focused on everybody following you. You got no leadership skills whatsoever, except for you becoming rich and famous so that somebody can bow down to you instead. Yahushua has not got his glorification yet. But you want yours. And he ain't exalted you. The Most High is the one doing the exalting. So how is it that you can self-appoint yourself? I'm an elder, right? The only time, here's what you should be saying. You know what? I ain't no elder. If the elder apostle didn't appoint you an elder, then you should be, oh, I'm not an elder. Somebody comes on your page gassing you up. Hey, elder. First thing out of your mouth is, I'm not an elder. I'm a slick sleeve mosquito wing. Right? Hey, they took my mosquito wing away from me. Right? I got no rank, 0. And you're cool with it. Just do what you're told. We're still in slavery. The fuck? Well, you don't have to listen to Massa? Of course you do. All right? You got to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. You got to render. You got to do what somebody tells you to do. You got to be at peace with all men. If it be at all possible. First Peter what? Did I get through it? Slocky. 5 and 12. 5 and 6. We'll read that again. 1 Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that he may exalt you in due time. That's man. So a nigga with a sidearm, okay? I'm sorry, but a nigga with a sidearm is a clown. We're at the end of this thing, and you need to be acting accordingly. You got to study to show yourself approved. Study the elders. Study the apostles. Right? All of them. Study Nathaniel 7, General Yohana, the apostles of Great Millstone. Study them. And let the Spirit, right, deal and show you who you should follow. Because guess what? If the Spirit tells you to follow ISUPK or IUIC, guess what? You're wicked. You're just wicked. You got no spiritual discernment. And you need to pray for spiritual discernment. And the truth is going to be revealed very soon. All right? We're in the time, right, of false prophets being revealed. Go back to Peter. Second Peter 3:3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, which that word scoffers is false teachers. Okay? If you cannot discern, spiritually discern which teacher is spiritual and which one is carnal, which one represents Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and which one represents filthy lucre. If you can't tell, right, let's line them up. Who's in this for money? You should be able to tell just by the garment. Who's in this for out there being flamboyant, trying to be seen, doing things to draw attention to yourself instead of being spiritual? Who's carrying guns? Who's doing these abominable things, right? Charging for the Passover, just all manner of wickedness. The things that come out of your mouth. John the Baptist is a plate of fish and pass me the hot sauce. How hard is that to see? Or who is going into the scriptures and proving all things? All right? The grape doctrine. It's in the scriptures. Whether you see or whether you can see or hear, whether you have understanding or not, it's in there. All right? Just, I mean, hey, now is the time, right, to be circumspect. Now, it's high time to wake up out of sleep. Niggas think that this thing is going to go on forever. A lot of so-called gurus got into this thing for what? Because they think that this is the flavor of the month, right? So I could put a gun on my hip and throw on a shirt with fringes and go out and be a nigga. It's not humbling yourself. That's not putting on the elect. You're putting on a nigga claiming to be in the truth. A nigga carries a firearm to camp and tries to justify it. Okay? Peter cut off the ear. Yahushua said, no, put the ear back on. That should be enough. Okay? If Peter sliced off the centurion's ear, what is that equivalent to today? Today, that's equivalent to Peter pulling out a blinky and shooting somebody who came and tried to touch Yahushua. Right? It's the same thing. And Yahushua stopped the bullet or pulled the bullet out of the centurion and healed him up and said, look, put the gun away, dumbass. That's not what we're doing out here. Isn't that what he did? It's equivalent. All right? The ancient sword today is the gun. So who was it? Peter pulled out the 9 and shot the centurion while he was grabbing up Yahushua. Yahushua stopped Peter, right? Jammed the gun, took the bullet out of the centurion, healed him up, right? And said, Peter, put the 9 away. Okay? It's the same situation. In other words, you don't need the 9. You don't need the blinking at camp. All right? That's not what we're doing up here. All right? We're not doing that. But a nigga will take a gun and hike up his shirt so that you can see the side piece that he got. It's not what we're doing. All right? No, we're being harmless as doves. What are we doing before we're being harmless as doves? We're being wiser than this devil. Right? You got to be more wise than the devil, who is more shrewd and subtle than any beast of the field. Okay? And you can do that because you're Israel. You can be more wicked than this devil, or you can be more wise than this devil. You can outdo him in everything. Why not for good instead of, I'm going to carry a weapon to camp and scare everybody, because I'm playing the same game I was playing when I was on the block. Now I'm just bringing it over into, that's a foolish thing to do. And then try to justify it. Pull out the scriptures and try to justify your wickedness. A sinful man seeketh for an excuse for his wickedness. And you're supposed to be able to see that and say, oh no, look at these clowns, right? Because that's what's going on. You got clowns out here in a clown t-shirt and clown fringes. That is not a garment down to the foot. All right? So watch out for these false prophets. Right? Hey, this thing, we're going to see right here in a minute. All right? Those that are playing games out here and ain't serious and ain't ready, right? You're not ready. You're like Sarah Suitin not ready out here. Okay? Really, you're worshiping another god. That your blinking nigga is an idol. That's Esau's idol. That's what he worships. And when you watch Planet of the Apes, I think it's called Beneath, right? What are they down there doing? They're worshiping these missiles, the ICBM, which is a sword, right? That's where the sword, they furbished this sword all the way up into a nuclear missile. And they're worshiping it, letting you know that's what this devil does. And nigga, you want to carry a pistol on your side to the camp? What are you doing? That's idol worship. You're worshiping other God, claiming to be a man of the Lord out doing the work. That's not what you do. What you do is you have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that the angels are encamped about you and will deliver you from any situation out there. And if it doesn't go that way, if it goes down that you die at camp, then you're okay. That's faith. You're not out here for faith. You're out here for filthy lucre, whether it be I'm famous, I'm that nigga with a gun on my hip at camp. And some people go do that just so that they can get recognition, just so they can get rebuke videos. Now I'm somebody. How low is that? Where? It's beyond me at this point. It's crazy to see some of these upstarts and what they'll do, right? At this point, right? At the very end, here we are, the last days, and what are they? Scoffers. What are scoffers? False teachers. Okay? 2 Peter 3:3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, or false teachers, walking after their own lust. What is their own lust? I got a gun on my hip. After I've been told not to do that, you've been rebuked many times, and now you're gonna be destroyed without remedy out here. Because you're walking after your own lust, right? Not humbling yourself and putting on the elect. This is how you know the hopeful elect. What's this guy doing? Well, he's humbling himself, right? Before the Most High. He got the message, he got the instruction, and he's performing it. He's actively doing what it takes to be the elect. It tells you, it gives you instruction on how to become that. And if you're not doing that, how can I look at you and follow you? No, you're making an excuse not to keep the commandments, trying to use a scripture, right? You're trying to use a scripture that is not the law to break the law. And I can't see that. You think that the elect, certainly the elect, can't be fooled, all right? And I'm not saying that I'm of the elect. I'm saying I'm of the hopeful elect. And nigga, I see you, right? You're a clown, all right? Elder, self-appointed elder, you're a clown. So what do? You put on, therefore, as the elect. Let's go back. All right. Colossians. Was it 3? 3 and 5. We can go ahead and close. Colossians 3 and 12. Put on, therefore, what do you mean put on? These beautiful garments, right? Put on, therefore, as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another if any man have a quarrel against any. Even as Hamashiach forgave you, so also do ye. It's pretty simple, but it's not simple to a nigga, okay? A nigga is so hard-headed and stiff-necked that you have to make your head hard against his. Right? A nigga will not take rebuke. Oh, this is a nigga. Here it is. You give him some, you speak to the brother. You warn him that what you're doing is wicked and gonna get you killed. And the nigga has nothing to do, he ain't trying to hear that. Right? And there you are. What do? All right? So with that, this is Philippians. You got instruction throughout this whole book, and a nigga wants nothing to do with it. Philippians 2:12, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right? With fear. The fear of the Most High. Following instruction. Not taking it upon yourself, exalting yourself. I'm suddenly, by my own word, I'm an elder. No, nigga. All right, we get the same penny. Right? Be a mosquito wing. Be a slick sleeve. Be a good soldier of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And that's what it is. So with that, we can say all praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them and taught us his truth. Shalom, Salaki. Shalom and salutations to all the Aqua for listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. All right. Shalom.